Here's a question that we got from one of our online community members. Vincent asked, say you're having a tough time finding any kind of insects in a new spot. Is it even worth trying to fish it at that point? If so, what type of fly would you try first and why? This is a really good question because sometimes we do show up to the river, we take that extra time to look on, around, and in the water for bugs. We might even watch for rising fish or any signs of life, and nothing. So to answer Vincent's first question, is it even worth fishing? I mean, if you're asking me, I always enjoy a good challenge. Who are we kidding? We're gonna fish. So what fly should we tie on? In this scenario, I would recommend fishing some attractor patterns. Flies fall into 3 categories. First, you've got realistic patterns. These are flies that are a very close match to a specific insect. Examples are parachute blue-winged olive to imitate an adult blue-winged olive, or a zebra midge to imitate midge larva or pupa. Each has a similar size, shape, and color to the real insect. Next, you have suggestive patterns. These are flies that can match a few different insects. Examples are a chubby Chernobyl. This could imitate adult stoneflies as well as grasshoppers. Or a hare's ear nymph, which could imitate a mayfly nymph, caddis larva, or small stonefly nymph. They're very similar in size and shape, but not an exact match. And last but not least, we have attractor patterns. These don't imitate any specific insects. Instead, they're designed to trigger a reaction from a fish using flashy, colorful, or attention-grabbing features. Examples are a hippie stomper, which is purple in color, the size of a beetle or a grasshopper, uses hackle like other common dry flies, and rubber legs that wiggle and can elicit a strike. Or a rainbow warrior, which is multicolored, super flashy in the water, but is the same size and shape as other mayfly or midge imitations. And so in this situation, when we don't really have a ton of information about the bugs that are hatching or that are active, or you just don't see anything, I like to tie on a couple of attractor patterns and see if we can find a fish that's willing to bite. In fact, today, I'm here in this exact situation. It's early fall, it's the middle of the day, it's a little bit windy. I'm not seeing any bugs, I haven't seen any fish rise, so let's put this to the test. Hippie stomper, let's go. All right, so I have tied on a hippie stomper, one of my favorite attractor patterns. It's got some hackle, it's got rubber legs. This one's kind of cool, it has some like purple flashy straggle string stuff. Definitely gonna call out to some trout. And then I've got a Frenchie, this is a dry dropper rig. I've got a Frenchie on the bottom as my dropper. It might be suggestive, not an attractor pattern, but I mean, because of the pinky, orangey dubbing that's on it, like it's a hot spot, right? I would consider it an attractor pattern, verge suggestive. So we're gonna go with that rig and see what happens. All right, let's see if we can find a hippie stomper eater. Or a Frenchie. I'm not picky. I like nymphs. And so do fish, thankfully. I'm just working this seam right here. There's a bit of faster water on the right, and then once it hits this bank, it slows down a little bit. So, just working this spot. Oh, there we go. That's a fish. Hit the Frenchie. Yeehaw! Nice rainbow. All right, try and stay downstream of him. Keep that tension. I'm gonna loosen my drag a bit. Look at those head shakes. All right. Stay downstream, lift his head up, and boom, net it. Wow, this thing's chunky. So we've got a bend right here. We've got a very clear seam, faster water, slower water. We have a little root ball right here in the water that I'm gonna try to avoid. and then it's significantly deeper where that faster water is running. So I would assume if there's gonna be a fish in here, he's gonna be right along that seam in the deeper water, but like hugging the slower water. So let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna work close to far, so I'll work this back section first and work my way up to the front. I'm trying to stay away from that dang root ball. Nothing's worse than throwing your first cast into a hole like this and getting caught up on a root ball, and you either, I just lost my fly on the root ball. All right, we are rigged up again and ready for action. Honestly, I didn't want to say it in the moment, but that could have been a fish and I might have just set the hook too hard. Also could have been the root ball. Just gonna keep working my way up this seam gradually. I'm gonna mend it so that my fly line is drifting in the faster water. Oh, that's a fish. Crushed it. Oh man, oh! I was not expecting that one. Let me guess, he ate my Frenchie. Oh, it's still on there. All right, not all hope is lost. We still have the Frenchie, but that sucks. He crushed that thing. Another deep pocket right here. I'm trying to stay low so that I don't spook any fish that might be hanging out in it. I'm also trying not to hook the camera woman. Katie was nice enough to come out today. There we go, fish. Ate the Frenchie again. I've got this awkward spot in between me and the fish. I don't want him to go downstream because there's a nasty root ball. I think I gotta jump over this deep spot. Stay out of there. There's another root ball over the side. Stay out of there, you punk. Stay out of there. Just tire him out. Problem with these big fish sometimes, they see you and they get tricky. Just like this guy. Like that. Stay out of that fast stuff. Don't you dare. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. All right, and heads up. Oh, you little punk, I knew it. I knew it, stay out of there. Don't you dare. Whoa. Woo. Oh, ate the Frenchie again. That was awesome. You may have noticed that I'm working these holes pretty quick. I'm just throwing a few casts through it, seeing if anything wants to bite. I do not fish here that much. And so this is what I like to call, well, this is what they call prospecting. People will talk about prospecting for trout. You can tie on those attractor patterns, maybe a dry dropper because you have the dry fly on the top, you have the dropper on the bottom, so you're working both water columns. You have those attractor patterns, so it's flashy, it's buggy, it might elicit a strike, and then you just work the water and you pay attention to where the fish are holding and you make note of that, and then the more that you come to the river, you start to develop this pattern of where the fish are hanging out, and you start targeting that water a little bit more than others. So I found today the fish are hanging out in the deeper stuff, so this all looks pretty shallow. I'm gonna move up and find a deeper hole. Oh, I actually see a nice big old cutty right in the middle of this pool. Oh, he's right at the bottom. Here we go. Oh, do it, do it, do it. Oh, he looked at it and he refused it. Oh, he's coming, he's coming. Oh, I don't think he saw me. Oh, okay, he's eating. So I didn't cast it far enough. He's further out there. In fact, he's facing this way. I think I'm gonna go back around, sneak up behind him, and throw a cast right upstream of him. I'm worried that if he starts to come towards my fly, he's gonna see me and spook. So I'm gonna back off very slowly. I also don't know if he saw me or not. He was like coming after my nymph as it was moving towards me, but there was a ton of drag on it. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of a break. I'm gonna sneak around to the backside, and then we're gonna throw a cast right up in front of him and see if he eats it. Sneaking around, walking through the bushes. Trying not to spook the big cutty. The hard part about this spot is there's a glare on the water and I can't see him very well. But I know he was about right there maybe. So here we go. Ooh, I saw him, he thought about it. My fly was dragging pretty bad, so what do I gotta do? I think I gotta cast it a little bit further and then give a little mend and not have it, a little mend like that, maybe. Oh, is he still there or did I spook him? All right, so here's the game plan. I hope he's still there. I don't think I was leading him enough. I think that was the problem. And I don't want to land the fly line right on top of him, so I moved over to the right a little bit more. And I'm gonna try and land my fly line in the faster water, but have my fly land in the slower water right on the seam. And then hopefully he just sees the fly. He doesn't see my fly line. Got him. Yeah. Ate the Frenchie. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Stay out of there. Oh gosh. We got a whole bunch of weeds and twigs right here. He's a big cutty. Oh gosh. Stay out of there. What? Yeah, there's a log too. And there he goes downstream. That's actually what we want. We can fight him down here. And heads up, got him. Oh, that's a big cutty. So hopefully today you learned a little something about attractor patterns and how effective they can be on days when there's not really much happening. But there are times when there's bugs buzzing around and there's fish rising and you're fumbling with your fly box because you might not know what fly to tie on. That's where our fly selection masterclass comes in to save the day. It's an entire series dedicated to teaching you all about bugs and how to pick the right fly out of your box no matter what situation you're in. It's freaking fantastic. Check it out right here.